All right, hola guys, ¿qué pasó? How's everyone doing? This is Hola Pablo. Thank you for tuning in. Let's look at Bitcoin. We had an eventful weekend, didn't we? We had a 10% pump. Yeah, just shows you that all your technical analysis can just go right out the window. All it takes is a tweet, as it were, from the President of the United States on a Sunday, no less. So, yeah, just can throw everything out the window, or we could deal with it in a very technical way. In my experience, for things like this, when things like this happen, what I do is I go back into the historical price action and try to find in this case, a rally that sort of resembled the price action in the fractal format of something that maybe we could go off of, because price action likes to repeat itself in fractal forms. As you know, what happens in the micro eventually manifests in the macro. So when I got back to my office, I immediately went out to sort of find that, like a corresponding fractal, and I believe I found one from February 3rd. And this was I'm going to let you in on a little chart that I shared with my group. This is one of the benefits of joining the group, because I don't always get to upload videos to YouTube, but I'm always looking, I'm always searching, and I'm always sharing my latest discoveries with the group. And so this was a chart that I shared last night. This is the February 3rd. We had a rally, almost 10% rally. This is when we were marking down, I believe, from that. We had a markdown here, but before we had a markdown, we had this drop, and then this redistribution, this descending triangle here. Pretty much the same measurements, and then we fell through and we created this, as it were, this kind of like inverted head and shoulders pattern. And so I told my group, be on the lookout for this. This looks to be playing out in the same way. Even, the degrees of the waves of this Elliott wave, it looks like, right? You could think it looks like a 1 through 5 motive wave just going down. But it really needed just more time to play out. And then I went ahead and I did another chart, and this is where I anchored the VWAP to the top of this buying climax here before this first drop, and then the redistribution, and then falling all the way down to the low here. So this was the low after right before February 3rd. I guess this would be like January 29th or so, the low that we had. And this was the recent low that we had before it came back up. This was like 78 or wherever it reached. 78, let's just say 78, and then we had it look like it was going to do like an ABC perhaps. And then here was that the Trump tweet, we're going to call it. And as you see in both charts, the markup went roughly in the same area when it jumped the creek. It was the same kind of area, went up here to this low here where this redistribution started, and there we started to see stoppage supply come in, and that was another kind of aha moment for me. And then of course we had this minor mitigation here from the I guess if this is the buying climax, the selling climax, from the automatic rally area of this redistribution, where the anchored VWAP or the ICE was more or less a flat line. We kind of had that flat line here, where the price action redistribution is taking place beneath the VWAP. So, and then we had the mitigation to where the stoppage supply was coming in after this kind of like this inverted head and shoulders, filling this liquidity void. And then I noticed we had this large upper wick, and then stoppage supply, and then a branch came up, started branching out, and it started to look conspicuously like a horn top to me. One of the features of like horn tops is you see the pump here goes up on decreased volume. So like the demand volume is reducing as the price action is ascending. And then you have the stoppage supply with the long upper wick, the upper shadow, and then another branch starts coming out, and it resembles like a rising wedge. And when that happens, you begin to see supply in the volume now showing up. Before it was just demand. Now supply is beginning to show up on this second, as it were, going back up to the secondary test the branch. So that's what I kind of left it at, and everyone was like kind of like bullish from what I heard. I don't really look at other analysts at that point. And so I said, I'm going to follow this fractal and watch it play out. Now here it is right now in real time. These are the two charts. This is that same February 3rd pump. Here it is. And we see how it's played out so far. You see how it's retraced a bit. And so I shared this with my group this morning. You know, like I said, and so like this is fractal range analysis. So you could see all of the same features just in fractal format. And so like what I share with my group, the best format that I found so far is for the February 3rd pump to have it on a 10-minute, and then the current play out here is on the 30 intraday. And so anyway, you could see all the features here. Here's that redistribution from the drop. And then we have this ABC coming down. Of course, the scope and the scope is going to have a different kind of degree of deviation in both, obviously, because they're not cookie cutter. But if you look at them and you know what you're looking at, you could see the same waves going in the same general trajectory. So we have the ABC here, and then we have this little redistribution here. See where this jagged kind of, here it was a falling wedge, and here it was more like a flat. It was like a triple top micro. And then we had this this W form here, this kind of equal W. And was it equal here? Here it was like maybe a little bit extended. And then we came down to, and this would be the shoulder, to create the head of this, or the low. This was much more, the one that we just had is much more clean cut. Came down, came back up, filled this liquidity void right away. This one took a little bit more time. But then, but it's the same waves. It's just, they're going in the same general direction. You see here, you see how this comes up here like this. You know, we have this W form. Again, if you want to count this as a W, this would be a shortened W. And so we see it here also, just very exaggerated. Comes down here and then up like this. This last part, you see the scalloped area. Get rid of this. This is here. This main feature here is this. And then we had the pump. This was 10%. What we had, this one's about 8.5. And then we had this first horn, this buying climax, and then here's the branch. Here's the buying climax, and here's the branch. We see, and then it topped out. Now, the bottom here, when it came back down, see, this is the buying climax. Automatic rally, secondary test, sign of weakness. Buying climax, automatic rally, secondary test, sign of weakness. The sign of weakness is on the same page as the, or rather the same level as the automatic rally. If you draw a straight line through it, it should take you right to this B wave in this ABC. And here we see the secondary test for the sign of weakness, and then straight line right, lo and behold, to the B wave of this ABC. Even though this is much more expanded, it's still, it's congruent. These support lines, you could draw straight rays and connect them. And so I told everyone, I think this thing is going down. I'm not going long. And apparently a lot of people are bullish, and I said, just knowing the market maker and like, you know, the Machiavellian behavior and the exploitation of Machiavellian way, or the motive of doing things for the market makers. Remember, this is cat and mouse. This is the frog and the scorpion here, you know. So one's the prey and one's the predator. And then that Trump tweet being on a Sunday when the markets couldn't react, and then crypto, just that knee-jerk pump. I thought, you know, this is probably an inside job. Obviously, this was unforecastable. And because you don't know in retrospect to look at these fractals, you only know afterwards, and then you can go and it's like after a murder, you conduct the homicide investigation. So this is the murder, and so we're putting the pieces together. We're going backwards. This is what we do as analysts, and so I'm putting the pieces together, and I say, oh, okay, I see this now. It's kind of like I share with my group. It's in the DNA of the technical analysis in fractal format. So what happens in the micro happens in the macro, and that's what's fascinating to me about price action. And even though we couldn't, it was impossible to predict what happened. We can go back now and we could deal with the aftermath, because now we can go forward now and see how it played out, and we see that it's playing out in cookie cutter almost form. Now, again, the expansion, the degrees of deviation is different, but the general trajectory is such that we can expect the waves to follow in format. And from here, it looks like we're distributing from this top here. How deeply can we distribute? And I want to hurry up and do this so I can get back to what I'm doing. We could do this off of going off the bottom. So if you go back to the February 3rd, the old fractal pump, go off the bottom of here. I have it on the Fibonacci retracement, and then I'm going to bring this up to this area. Let's see, we'll do it the 782, 382, the 618, 786. Let's see, 786. Where did I have this? We'll bring it right here. 82. Okay, so there. So we're going to go to the 618, which is 97, and then here, go from here to the top. And then we're going to look at the 786. 786 is 82,000. That brings it down to the bottom of this W. And then we'll do the 782 from here. I don't think I did this right. That's why it wasn't showing up. All right, and then we'll do from here. And then the 786. All right. So that brought it down to about there. So at the bottom of the scallop. So that's the 786. That was 94 G's about a month ago. And today, the same area is about, I'm going to say, anywhere between 86 and 82,000, somewhere in this area here, right here. This is the 786 at the bottom of this W. The 786 from the top here brought it down to the bottom of this scallop area, 94,000. So we're going to take it between the 618 and the 786 Fibonacci. So anywhere between 85 and 82 G's is where I'm expecting this thing to retrace to. If we follow with the fractal range analysis, which I think it's going to do. So we see so far it's pretty much played out, as you can see. I mean, look at this, right? Okay, so that's all I've got for now. I'll keep an eye on it. I don't know when I'll be able to get around to do another YouTube video, but hey, you know, check us out. If you haven't subscribed, by all means subscribe. And if you'd like to take your chart reading skills up a notch and learn this sort of technical analysis, what I do, it's not just fractal range analysis. I do Elliott wave. I do Wyckoff. I do volume spread analysis. By the way, when we get down to this area, we'll begin reconsolidating somewhere in here. This may be this area here, but then we may have a deeper kind of where we come down for this extended W pattern here. We may come down even more. It looks like we are. I mean, we've got predominance of supply, so we may be coming down to that would bring us down around 87 next. The next stop maybe 87,000. When we get down to that area, I'm going to be employing some heavy duty volume spread analysis to kind of get even more of a bias of there to see where we can go. This is how it all played out. You see, we went all the way back eventually. Eventually, the lows are mitigated, and so. But this was a long, drawn out consolidation effort that was actually, in retrospect, it was I think it was a redistribution. But anyway, this is long and drawn out. And again, this is on a 10-minute. I don't think it's going to do this, but we're going to follow this schematic as far as we can until it invalidates itself. It's kind of like how we did the diamond, remember, from the distribution. How did we know it was going to distribute? And everyone's bullish, 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 you know, and it redistributed. Same thing here. I think we're going down to the somewhere between the 618 and the 782 Fibonacci retracement. So that puts it right around in this area here. This area here, back certainly back to where the pump originated from, 85. I think these lows are going to be remitigated. So that's my bias. Like, subscribe, check out our Discord trading group. If you get anything out of these, be safe in the market. And nothing I say is financial advice. God bless each and every one of you, as always. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching this all the way to the end. If you watched this all the way to the end, let me just say something. That's very impressive. You're better than most. You're more dedicated than most. Most click out after 5 minutes watching these videos. But you've stuck all the way through the end. You owe it to yourself to take your trading up another notch. Again, check out the Discord group. I'm telling you, it's extremely affordable. It'll be a great learning experience. Stay a few months. I mean, it's $25. So I'm sure you'll get it. You'll get all the money back in spades if you stay and you learn this technical analysis. What I do, what other traders do. It'll be a great skill that you acquire, and you'll have it for the rest of your life. You just improve upon it. All right, guys, that's it. I'm out of here. Adios. Bye-bye. God bless.